I'm gonna run you through in chronological order. So I'm gonna run through it in order of how it was made. Let's start with the bass line. With Afrobeats especially, I actually start with bass lines quite frequently. It just helps you to sort of get a bounce down. I don't know, I find it's a cool way to start a beat. So here is the bass line. I'm using the sine, basic sine preset from Nexus. Here's what it sounds like. There's a lot of stuff going on, lots of notes. I'm gonna play all the drums together. I really had no structure at all while doing this. I was just like, I always search. I use the toolbar down here. So if you're in FL, this is sick. I'll just search rim or clap or perk, and I'll just go through. Like for example, let's go rim here. And by the way, some of the stock FL stock sounds for like perks and rims are sick for Afrobeats. And I'll just go through here, starting a bounce. Here's the bounce I got with 7 different sounds, including the kick. So here's all of them together. So honestly, kind of more of like a dancehall kind of vibe. I was sort of taking inspiration from one dance with this. Actually, I'm just going to play the drum bounce with the bass all together so you can hear it. And then moving on, we've got this real simple piano from Labs. Yeah, Labs here, soft piano preset, completely free. And then I just played in these chords using the MIDI keyboard, A sharp minor down to a D sharp minor. Really simple, but here's what it sounds like. And just one tip, you can hear that it's just the exact same chord played twice. But because I played it on the MIDI keyboard, it actually gives it a different feel. Some notes are lighter than the others, so it gives the chord a different kind of feel. If you don't have a MIDI keyboard, I'd suggest just playing around with these velocity notes manually. And for a fix on there, for an EQ, taking out some of the highs because that piano had some weird clicky stuff at the top. And really easy reverb, just like that. And then rendered that out, so it was a waveform. And then on effects, extra effects, we've got another reverb, a Fruity Convolver, another EQ. This time I'm taking out some of the lows. All right, moving on. Next layer was the first vocal, made very randomly. I'm gonna unmute all this and hope it doesn't sound too bad, but I'm pretty sure it would have just been a bunch of me making noises into the mic. Here is the original vocals. Right by your side I stay, there is no better feel. Come with me, let's go away. No shedding you empty. Right by your side I stay. So then that repeats over again for the next 4 bars. It sounds terrible, but I'm going to show you what effects were on there to make it sound like that. As you can see, there were 3 layers. So I've got 2 tracks here, 1 pan left, 1 pan right, but they have the exact same effects on it. So we've got a little altar boy, pitch down 7 with the formant, auto tune, pretty high up just on the right key. A reverb, this is sort of pushing the vocal back a bit. EQ, taking out the lows, taking out the highs, more of the lows. Echo Boy Jr., this is just like a reverb thing, and another EQ. Exact same thing for the other track, except it's just pan to the other side. And then for the third lot, for the ad-libs, the exact same effects, except the low altar boys down 2. All the exact same EQs, except this one had a delay and a chorus on it. So after that, I merged those tracks into one. We've got this waveform here. I pitched it up nearly a full octave, 11 cents, and I'd pitched the sample down 1, that means. And then effects on here, very simple. EQ, focusing on those lows, sort of low mids. Spreader, this is a free FL plugin. I think it came in one of the recent updates, and it just widens out the sample a bit. And then finally a TAL filter, just giving it that pulsing effect. So I'm gonna play it without the effects, just through the speakers, just so you can hear the difference. So there's without effects. With the effects, I'm gonna let you hear it properly what it sounds like. So that vocal turned out sick. Not even a whole lot going on there, just a bit of experimentation. Next, I wanted another vocal. So I went into Aura. I grabbed one of the phrases, which was this phrase here. I'm gonna play it for you right now. So this sample I pitched up 9. It was a cool vocal, but to fit the vibe, I wanted to chop it up. And there's the sick thing about all these vocal samples inside of Aura. You can tailor it to any genre you want. So I wanted this sort of choppy style to go along with the bounce of the Afro. And that's exactly what I did. So you can see here the chops I've got using this phrase thing from Aura. I'm going to show you the original chop, exactly what it sounded like first. And then for effects on this vocal, I was going EQ to sort of, mids again. That's really my go-to for these kinds of vocals. And then I had a delay automation, so after it played for 4 bars, it continued to keep going like this. It had like a cool tail to it. So then I rendered that as 1, and then I chopped it up a little further just to clean it up a little bit, make it go with the sound and the drums a bit more. I added another delay automation on here, and then another reverb. I chopped it up, you can see I added to the end as well. Now, here's what it sounds like. That's just an example of how to use Aura. Link in the description. Black Friday sale lasts a few more days. Go check it out if you want some sick vocals. Moving into the guitars that Marcos sent over. So I just sent this beat to Marcos, and then he just sent it back with a whole bunch of stems with guitar licks and stuff. So for the main guitar lick thing, which comes in the intro, and then throughout the beat is this thing here. So I used 2 different stems and chopped it up. You can kind of tell it doesn't really sound a whole lot like a guitar. Delays on it, EQs, I can't actually find exactly what I had on here. Sometimes I lose files. But here's what it sounds like, the 2 stems together. You can hear it sounds a little bit sort of cheap and picky. So then I rendered those 2 files together into one waveform, pitched it down a full octave, and then added this EQ, taking out heaps of those highs and adding a reverb. You can see lots of the effect processing is very common. I just sort of do the same stuff throughout. And here's what the guitar sounds like now. And then using another one of the guitar stems that Marcos sent over, I wanted to create sort of breakdown bridge section, just a really weird guitar texture. I did a whole lot of random reversing, pitching up, you can hear it, you can see it's pitched up quite high. Effects on here, EQ, very heavy EQs there. And here's what it sounds like, just as like a breakdown section. Alright, so that was the final melodic element, and then finally I just wanted to add a little bit more bounce, and I was just going through random sounds in the toolbar. Found these 2 sounds. It's a hi-hat, almost like a shaker though, and this little boom boom. And then I just put these effects on, that sort of perk bell sound thing, reverb, delay, and then on that hat I just put a delay on, so it just like felt like it was like a like constant shake. Honestly, hearing the beat without these 2 elements sound completely different. Feels like something's missing, so I'm very glad I added this. Here's what it sounds like. This is the whole beat. We've got a few fills, rises, claps, stuff like that here. This is sick, one of my favorite Afrobeats, and it's always progressing, got different stuff going on.
It's actually hella it's experimental as well.
It is. Remember, vocal Aura bundle, Black Friday right now. You've got a few more days. Go get some vocals like this.
Cheers for watching, boys. See you in the next one.
Let's hear it.
International.